Namaste students. So last class we studied about Q data structure, Q linear data structure. So under Q linear data structure we studied about, so it's a linear data structure where insertion takes place in one end called rear and deletion takes place in another end called front. So here another name of Q data structure is FI, FO or FS, FC, FS. First come, first serve or first in, first out. Okay, these are about Q linear data structure or Q data structure, where in Q data structure there are four types of Q data structures. So four types are, first one is simple Q, next circular Q, and then priority Q, and fourth one is double-ended Q. So under this one, simple Q means where insertion takes place in one end called rear and deletion takes place in another end called front. It is simple Q. And second one is circular Q. So under circular Q, all the nodes or all the elements are in circular fashion or in circular mode, or it is treated as all the nodes are in circular Q. Okay. And here third one is priority Q. So under priority Q, all the elements are having some preset priority orders, and according to that insertion or execution may happen. And fourth one is double Q or double-ended Q or double-sided Q. So under this double-sided Q, where insertion and deletion takes place in both the ends. Insertion and deletion takes place in both the ends. It is called as double-ended Q. So far we know that broadly we can classify into two types of operations possible on Q data structure. First one is NQ, second DQ. So what do you mean by NQ? NQ means we can insert an element, DQ means we can delete an element from the front end. And insertion, in Q, insertion takes place under, in rear section or rear end, and deletion takes place in front end. Okay, these are about two operations, and there are 5 operations possible on Q data structure. So first one is under operations Q insertion, Q deletion, size, underflow, and then overflow. Underflow and overflow. So Q insertion means we can insert an element to the Q through the rear end, and it is called as Q insertion. Q deletion means we can delete from the front end. And here during insertion, total number of elements that will be incremented by 1, and under deletion, total number of elements that will be decremented by 1, and here size indicates total number of elements. And then underflow. So what do you mean by underflow? Actually this particular operation that is to indicate whether the Q is empty or not. If it is empty, then it is not possible to delete an item. And here next operation is overflow. See, overflow operation is used to check whether the Q is full or not. Okay, these are all operations possible on Q data structure. Next, memory representation of a Q using array. Say, to represent Q using array, we need some variables. Here some variables are front, so that indicates already inserted location. That means first element that is to be inserted here, this location, front. And next one is rear, so that indicates last element inserted. So according to Q data structure, so here first come, first serve or first in, first out. So suppose if you want to delete an item, that will be takes place this particular location, front. So whenever you are going to inform and perform some operations using Q data structure, here we need to use two variables, front and rear, or we can say pointer variable. And here if front equal to null, actually it's a condition, we have to insert a condition like this, front equal to null. If front is a pointer variable, if if it is pointing to the null pointer, so that means given Q is empty. Q is empty. If front equal to null, Q is empty. And then if rear equal to n, or you can take some other variable also. If rear equal to n is another condition, that is to check overflow. Overflow means Q is full. Q is full. Say first condition that we need to check is front equal to null. If front is a pointer variable, if front is pointing to null, so that indicates Q is empty. And another pointer variable is rear. If rear equal to n, or rear equal to, if it is pointing to the last location, or sometimes we can use n minus 1. In case if the index value starting from 0, then we can use n minus 1. Okay, let it be there. If rear equal to n, or sometimes we can use rear equal to max also, if max is a total number of elements. Okay, then Q is full. Q is full. Okay, so these two conditions must be checked during the execution of that particular Q data structure. Okay, let us see this one. See, we have some array, one array like this, and here location starting from 0 to 7. So total 8 elements, and here elements are A, B, C, D, 4 elements. First, we are going to insert an element. How to insert? Now we can say Q insertion. How to perform Q insertion in this case? See, here first element inserted is A, next B, C, and last inserted is D. Suppose if you want to insert one more element, then what happens is we have to insert in this location D, after D. Okay. Say if you want to delete location, means deletion starts from this particular location. So next your front will jump from this location to here like this. Okay. And here how to insert? Q insertion. And first thing is, suppose if you want to insert a new element to a Q, so what happens is rear equal to rear plus 1. That means this particular variable rear, that will be incremented by 1. Rear equal to rear plus 1. So what happens? Rear, that will be pointing to this location. And Q of rear equal to item. Q of rear equal to item. And here what happens is initial location of rear equal to 4, or that is equal to 4 plus 1. Latest value of rear equal to 5. Latest value of rear equal to 5. And Q of 5 equal to new item. So here what happens? Suppose if item is equal to E means item will be placed in this location, and rear will be incremented by 1, and rear will be placed after this location, after D. So what happens? Here rear equal to 5 and its value is equal to E. Okay, these are about Q insertion. See, to perform Q insertion, rear equal to rear plus 1, Q of rear equal to item. Q of rear equal to item. Then how to perform Q deletion? Q deletion operation. See, deletion takes place in a particular location front. So deletion operation takes place in this location. So what happens? Just first thing is we need to specify the item to be deleted. Item equal to Q of front. Item equal to Q of front. That means here item equal to A. Q of front, that indicates this particular value. So item element to be deleted and equal to Q of front. Q of front, that is pointing to the front location. And then next, just we have to increment the value of front. Front equal to front plus 1. Here front equal to 1. And next location front equal to front plus 1. So that will be equal to 2. So what happens is front, that will be replaced with this location. So front equal to front plus 1. So what happens is automatically we will consider these particular elements are in Q except this. So what happens? Automatically value A, that will be ignored. That will be ignored. So like this only you can perform Q deletion. So Q deletion is one of the important aspects in Q operation, and you can expect this question for your examination also. Next, algorithm for insertion. Algorithm for insertion. To perform algorithm operation, first thing is Q, that means it's one dimensional array. Q is one dimensional array and n is the total number of elements, and front and rear are 2 pointers. Front is to locate the first element inserted and rear, that is to locate the last element inserted. Suppose if you want to insert one more element, then what happens? Value of rear, that will be incremented. Next item is the element to be inserted to the particular location. Okay. Next step 1. Say first thing is, whenever you are going to insert an element, first we have to check whether the Q is full or not. If it is full, if it is in overflow condition, then what we have to do? It's not possible to insert new item. And then, okay, here we are checking that one. If rear equal to n, if rear is a location that is to be the latest element or new element that we can insert to this particular location. If rear equal to n, then check overflow. Actually, this is here I am going to implement insert a condition or check overflow. And here, if it is true, if rear equal to n, if it is true, then what happens? Print overflow. Print overflow. It's not possible to insert new item. Next, exit. So what happens? It will come out of this particular instruction. Next, in case if rear is not equal to n, if it is not full, that Q is not full. If front equal to null, if front equal to null, say front equal to null means Q is empty. Actually, it is a condition for to check whether the given Q is underflow or not. Underflow means empty. If front equal to null, that indicates given Q is empty. Q is empty. If front equal to null, then Q is empty. So what happens? We have to specify front equal to 0, rear equal to 0. That means these two pointers are pointing to the same first location, like this. Here it is pointing to the same first location. Front equal to 0 and rear equal to 0. Okay. If these two conditions are wrong, if it is not true, then what happens? Just we have to increment rear equal to rear plus 1. Say, if these two conditions are not true, if rear equal to n, it is not true, not overflow and not underflow, front equal to null. If these two conditions are not true, then just we have to increment this particular variable, rear equal to rear plus 1. Rear equal to rear plus 1. So what happens? See, you can see this particular diagram here. Front equal to 1 and rear equal to 4, and front is not equal to null and rear is not equal to n. So what happens? Rear equal to rear plus 1. So rear, that will be pointing to the next location. Rear equal to rear plus 1. And then third step, Q of rear equal to item. Q of rear means Q is an array. Q of rear, this particular rear, Q of rear equal to item. Item is element to be inserted. For example, I am using F. So Q of rear equal to F. So I can insert like this F. See, that is to copy. And next last step is return. So in this case, this whole algorithm that includes how to insert an element to the queue. See, there may be we can have two conditions. One is front and other one is rear. If rear equal to n, then we have to check overflow. If front equal to null, we have to check underflow. Okay, these are about queue insertion operation. Next concept is algorithm for deletion. So whenever you are going to perform deletion operation, there are two things that you have to check. First one is, to perform deletion operation, we need to check whether the queue is empty or not. If it is empty, then it's not possible to delete an item. So what happens? Automatically it will process underflow operation. Okay, this is about how to implement some algorithm. That means how to implement some item or delete operation in this case for algorithm for deletion. And second condition is, so first we have to check whether it is underflow or not, or given queue is empty or not. Second one is, we need to check if it is pointing to the only one location. So sometimes what happens is, if we have only one element in queue data structure or in that particular array, so what we have to do? So both front and rear pointer, that is pointing to the same location. So normally what happens is, if front equal to rear, so that indicates there is only one element, and front equal to 0 and rear equal to 0. So these two conditions that we need to implement. See, algorithm for deletion. So algorithm name is important. And next all those points, that means q, n, front, rear, item, these are all variables that should be specified properly. So what do you mean by q, what is n, front, rear and item? Q means is one dimensional array here, that is to indicate the Q data structure. Next, n means total number of elements. N means total number of elements. Next, front is last inserted element, and suppose if you want to delete a particular item, that will start from this particular location, front. And then rear means suppose if you want to insert one more element, so what happens? Rear, that means location of rear, that will be incremented. Next, item means that is to be inserted, or suppose if you want to delete a particular variable or particular value, that should be assigned to item. Okay, next we'll move to this one. Step 1, if front equal to null. If front is a variable, front equal to null, then what? Check q is empty. Q is empty, that means it indicates underflow. Print underflow. Next, exit. So if it is true, if front equal to null means empty q, so what happens? Directly we should come out of this particular algorithm. And then if it is not, front is not equal to null, so what happens? Item equal to q of front. Item equal to q of front. Just we need to specify this one. Item equal to q of front. So what is the variable under front location? So that will be automatically assigned to item. So item equal to q of front, and then if front equal to rear, so both the pointers are pointing to the same location. If front equal to rear, then q has only one element. So just we need to specify this one. Q has only one element. So that indicates only one element. So that element, its location is called as front and rear. So if there is only one element and the location is treated as front and it is also treated as a rear, and front equal to 0, rear equal to 0. That means if there is only one element, for example, if I am taking like this particular location, and it is treated as front and rear. So both the pointers are located in this location only. So front equal to rear, and front equal to 0 and rear equal to 0, else front equal to front plus 1. So what happens? If it is not true, then what happens? Just we need to increment the location. Front equal to front plus 1. Now front is pointing to q. So what happens? Automatically this variable or this value a, that will be ignored. So the values or elements between front and q, that is treated as q elements. That is treated as q element, and this will be, this particular value a will be ignored. Okay. Next, the last step is return. Return means that is to return the deleted item. If you want, you can return the deleted item in your program. Okay, these are about how to delete an element from the Q data structure. So deletion takes place in front end and insertion takes place in rear. So two operations. So insertion and deletion. In that case, in Q insertion, what we have to do? Just we need to specify Q of rear equal to item, q of rear equal to item, and before this one rear equal to rear plus 1. So first thing is rear equal to rear plus 1, q of rear equal to item. These two statements belongs to q insertion, and under q deletion, q of front equal to item, q of front equal to item, or you can write here also item equal to q of front, and front equal to front plus 1. Front equal to front plus 1. These two statements belongs to Q deletion. So this Q insertion and Q deletion. Under insertion here equal to here plus 1, then here Q of here equal to item. So under this one, item equal to Q of front and front equal to front plus 1. Okay, these are about Q insertion operation. Okay, next is memory representation of Q using linked list. So in previous class we studied about linked list. So what do you mean by linked list? See, linked list is a collection of nodes, all nodes or each node having two fields. First one is information, first field is information, second field is address. So what happens is, second field that is pointing to the next another location or another address or another node. So like this it happens, right? See, linked list and arrays. See, in any data structure, we can use one of these two structures. One is arrays or linked list. See, in case if you are using arrays, it is called as memory representation using static representation or static structure. Static means number of elements that we are using in our program that is fixed. See, before starting your program or before execution of a program, so we need to specify total number of elements that we are using in our program. That should be mentioned or that should be specified by the user. So that is static representation. And second one is dynamic. During program itself, that means whenever you are going to execute a program, suppose if you want to increment number of elements or suppose if you want to allocate more number of elements. So running program itself, we can allocate the values. We can allocate the elements, we can deallocate the elements. So that is dynamic. So two types of representation. One is static representation and other one is dynamic. See, static representation, that is by arrays. That means total number of elements. So last year syllabus you studied about arrays. So write a program to generate first n numbers or first n natural numbers. In that case we are using arrays. First n natural numbers means n number of elements that should be specified by the user before execution. For example, if you are using n is equal to 5 means we can allocate only 5 elements, not more than 5. So in case whenever you are going to executing a program, if you want more number of elements, then it's not possible to use the arrays. See, according to array concept, number of elements that is fixed. Whenever you are going to execute a program, that is fixed. So it's not possible to increment whenever we need during execution of a program. Suppose if you want to more number of elements and which is not mentioned by the user and which is not accessed by the user during the execution also, then we need dynamic allocation. See, dynamic allocation that is by linked list only or by using the pointers, right? Using the pointers. See, according to this one, memory representation of Q using linked list means, that means you are going to access the value or you are going to allocate the value during execution of a program. During the execution of a program or executing a program, you are going to allocate the value or you are going to deallocate the value. And main advantage of this particular structure or this particular concept is that is to avoid the wastage of memory. That is to avoid the wastage of memory, we need linked list. Okay, see. Here I am using start is a pointer that is to indicate the initialization of a linked list. So far we know that linked list is a collection of nodes and each node having two fields. First one is data or information. Second field that indicates address or link to the another node. See, here we have some nodes A, B, C, three nodes, and here each node having two fields. One is data, another one is link or address. Link or address. Here 11 is data and it's this particular second field that indicates address. And here it is pointing to the next value. And address of B node that is pointing to the next node C, like this. See this start or head. Actually it is pointing. It holds some address or link. And that is to initialize the first pointer or first node or first linked list. Here front that indicates element to be deleted first. Here first is a node or location, that indicates element to be deleted first, and that is pointing to the next node B, and B is pointing to the next node C, like this. And here last inserted element is here. Last inserted element is here. Suppose if you want to delete or insert an element, so what we have to do here? Real location that will be incremented, or its address that is pointing to the next location, and real will be that will be incremented by this location to another, like this. So these are about inserting an element or location or node to a queue data structure in linked list concept. And here we are going to insert new item real that will be incremented, and it is its address that is pointing to the new node, like this. These are about queue insertion using linked list. Second point is how to delete. So far we know that deletion starts from the front location. Here we are going to point instead of here A node, B node, C and D, and A is it is treated as front node. And here this particular pointer start or head, and here it is pointing to the next node instead of pointing to the first node, and here it will be treated as front. So like this we can delete. Like this we can delete a node. See, we know that linked list is a collection of nodes, and each node having two fields, information or data, that is the first field, and second field that indicates link or address. Suppose if you want to insert new node, so what happens? Real will be incremented, and edges of the previous node that is pointing to the next node. Okay, these are about insertion. Deletion means instead of that is first or starting point is pointer that is pointing to the next node, and here it is treated as the front, right? Okay, these are about queue insertion and queue deletion by using linked list. Okay, so last concept under queue data structure is applications. So in various fields we can implement the queue data structure, right? See, here first one is simulation. Simulation. So what do you mean by simulation? Simulation means actually according to the what actual meaning of simulation is implementation in our practical work. So we can implement queue data structure in our practical work. So that is simulation. And second point is various features of operating system. Whenever developing operating system softwares, many engineers or nowadays also many developers they are using queue data structures. Queue data structure. Next point is multi-programming platform system. So what do you mean by multi-programming? Multi-programming means using more than one program in the particular platform at the same time, or we can say simultaneously. That is multi-programming platform systems. Okay, under multi-programming platform systems, we are using queue data structure. And next one is different types of scheduling algorithms. So different types of scheduling algorithms are there, like round robin scheduling and first come first serve, first in first out, etc. Next point is printer server routines. In printer server routines also we can use queue, first come first serve basis. Next, various application softwares based on queue, various application softwares. Next, operating system maintains a queue of jobs to activate particular events. Okay, these are about different applications of queue data structure. So you can expect this one application of queue data structure in final examination also. It is for 5 marks.